with respect to the people who are on time. So thank you for joining. I'm so pumped to do this tonight. Hold on here. This all came about just pretty quickly. I mean, we just learned about this not even a week ago. So we just thank you to those of you that are able to hop on with short notice. I love it. And then also to my two fearless leader sidekicks, Andy and Courtney, for helping pull together some information super fast over the past few days for you guys for Dash to Disney. So I don't know if anyone else has told their children about it. That makes things real. If you have, has anyone else told their kids about Disney? If you have kids, I did. And it's over my daughter's 7th birthday. Her birthday is March 17th. So we would actually be there on her birthday. So that's a little bit like, whoa, okay, just, things are getting real. If you need an actual, like, real accountability, it could be your children. Yes, Teresa, Jamie counts for sure. I know not everyone has kids, and I know that it's just as exciting for other people. I'm sure, Teresa, you and Jamie and 2 other friends could go, and oh my goodness, you will love that. That's awesome. So, and I like it. Sometimes they do a cruise, like the actual just like adult getaway cruise, and then this time they want the family route. They want to, encompass both crowds, so that's pretty cool. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I am going to talk real quickly. Nope, that's not what I want. How do I share this big view? Probably full screen. Is that working? I don't know if that's working. Like I want it to. Andy, do you know?
I think you have to click on slide.
What do you mean?
If you go to the top, there should be a slide button.
Okay, hold on. Slide. Why don't I know how to present? Maybe it's present. Oh, okay. Here we go, people. Okay. So just real quickly, so I wanted to talk just briefly about, can you guys see this? Can someone say yes? I can't see any of you.
Yes. Yep, it looks good.
Okay.
It looks great.
Okay, I can't, it literally took over. I can't see any faces.
It looks perfect.
I'm just talking. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so so Dash to Disney. So this is a promo that actually started 2 weeks ago tomorrow. So if you've enrolled anyone in the past 11 days, and that counts, and 13 days, and if they have enrolled anyone, that counts too. So it's very, very exciting. It's backdated. You do need to enter, and I'll show you real quick here in a second. But like I said, Disney is obviously, like, my 4-year-old was like, what's Disney World? Like, she doesn't even know. But, we're just talking about it's magical, it's happy, the happiest place on earth. It's really something, I think, that, if you have families, you can get your families involved. If not, it speaks to everyone. If you don't have children, that's cool too. But what I love about this promotion is that it really speaks to the essence of this business, which is you share, they share. You share, they share, repeat. You share, they share, repeat. And you get points for Disney to qualify by doing exactly that, by sharing Isagenix and then by having them share Isagenix. And you get even, it's weighted towards the they share, because that's where duplication comes in. And you will master your business when you master the skill of duplication. And that's just what I think is the coolest thing. So it already started. It goes until November 18th. So that's 98 days from today, if I'm counting that correctly. And we're just going to go over a little bit of it. And I'm going to just overview quick. Andy's going to show you how attainable this is. When I first heard 10,000 points, I was like, oh, okay, what does that mean? He's going to break it down for you and see that this is truly attainable over the next 4 months. This is a very, very attainable, next 3 months, I guess, really, from right now, 3.5 months total thing. And it's not like you have to be, at the very, very top. Simply by hitting the 10,000 points, as many people can hit the 10,000 as possible, you get to go. You get these tickets, the 4 tickets for the 3-day park hopper pass. So if you haven't done so yet, go into your back office under contests and promotions. You can see here, Dash to Disney, and just familiarize yourself with those three things. View contest. When you click on that, it actually just has a little box that you have to opt in. So I want to make sure everyone does their little check mark, submit, so that you are opted in to Dash to Disney. It won't generate your reports if you don't do that. You know, you won't earn it if you don't do that. And I know you have a while you can do that for, but just do it tonight. Like, get it done and do it tonight. View website is all of the details, all the promotional details, sort of like a flyer, all the ways to earn points, FAQs, everything that you need to know. And then the reports goes actually to the reports tab, and it shows you Dash to Disney, your individual report, and you can see how many points you've earned towards the 10,000. So as I said, you get the tickets, if you look at the bottom tier, just for 10,000 plus points. Andy's going to talk through how doable this is by really just implementing You Share, They Share. You can get there simply with You Share. You could be a sponsor monster, enroll your way all the way there, and then by duplicating, you just get there that much faster. And then company-wide, the top 250 point earners are also going to get the 4-night stay at a Disney hotel. And then the top 125 are going to get $1,000 in travel cash. So really, it's like flight, hotel, and tickets, you know? So put your eye, you know, have your eye on the prize to just crush it. Don't stop at 10,000 points. Run right through 10,000. And then this right here, you know, a lot of what we learned at Celebration was about say, share, do. Say, share, do. Stick to the scripts. They work. They really work. And scripts, you're going to hear from Courtney more about this, but it doesn't mean you have to use word for word for word, but use this to make it your own, and use this to, you know, your existing team members, rally them, get them excited, do it together. You can share it on social media, either on Facebook or Instagram or Insta stories, to get people interested in, gosh, what is it? You're planning to go to Disney, and they can do it with you, you know? So, and then encourage your team to participate. I know not everyone's on this call. Make sure that you are sending people to the site, again, under contests and promotions, that they're viewing the website, that they opt in, and then form little accountability groups and hold each other accountable to get to the end. You know, there are fun ways you can do this. I've seen various people put together, you know, like little Mickey Mouses that then you check off every 100 points or every 1,000 points, or put it on your vision board, put it up on your wall, put it everywhere, so that you're really sharing and running together. So that is what I wanted to share. And then I'm going to pass it over to Andy Sawyer. Awesome guy. He's going to, you know, he's really stepped up into leadership with us. We love it. He just got back from Nashville. He's also an accountant, totally geeks out on this stuff, as he says. So I'm excited. Andy, you can go ahead and tell me when. I can't see you. All I can see is my slide. So just say next slide, and I'll move it forward for you.
I see you in the slide, and that's it. So
okay.
Next slide's good. So like Allison was saying with the You Share, They Share, I think there's two huge things for this promotion. One is They Share is 3 times as important as You Share. So I'll show how you can get there by yourself and how much easier it is if you create consultants. And then the Isobody Challenge. So the Isobody Challenge is, the minimum order is 500 BV over 16 weeks. So if you can get people, when they sign up, immediately enrolled in the Isobody Challenge. We also saw in Nashville, I believe, the average monthly BV company-wide is 225-ish for people who participate in the Isobody Challenge, and they are recurring customers for much longer. I don't remember all the stats, but so I think getting people into the Isobody Challenge to know that they can get the $200 coupon and get a community and all those other things that are so important to all of us is huge. So the 10,000 points, like she says, retroactive. You only get it on new customers. So if you have an existing associate who starts enrolling people, you don't get credit for the points there. So you have to find some new people, and then if they find new people, you get 3 points for every person there they find. So I know I had a question about that earlier, and I did some digging around, and it's not for existing people. So if you create one consultant, right, we got the You Share, They Share, the 2. which, by the way, I heard the other day, if you flip it around, it looks like Mickey Mouse. So that's effectively 7 points for every person you find, right? Because you get the 1 for the person you find, 3 for the person they find, and 3 for the other person they find. So that's really where it's huge. So, Allison, you can go to the next slide. So what I did is there's any number of ways that you can look at it. I assumed a 30-day system for people since it's so common. Obviously, if you're able to get people enrolled on the value pack, that would help get you there a lot quicker. But I assumed 184 BV for the 30-day system, and then I assumed 125 BV on the next 3 months after that. And that order would get people to qualify for the IsaBody Challenge. So it would get them above the 500 BV. So if you were to try to do it without creating any consultants, you can do it, but you'd have to sign up 18 people in August, and all 18 of those people would have to reorder in September, October, November. And even if you're amazing at retention in your business, 100% retention is challenging. So you can see how hard that's going to be. You're going to need a minimum of 18 enrollments if you do the 30-day system. So that's pretty challenging for 1 month. If you find one person who shares with 6 people, right? So maybe you find one person who's just got a ton of influence and a ton of friends who really are motivated. If that one person has 6 people start with them, and if 5 out of those 6 reorder every month and one of them just reorders for 2 out of the 3 months, maybe they don't sign up until September, that would get you there. So you could get there just by signing up one person if that person signs up 6 people, because you get 3 times the points for each of those 6 people. And then what the next slide shows is, again, it's really 6 of the they share. So from what I was looking at, 5 or 6 they shares, depending again on what people order, if it's a 30-day or if they do 125 BV after. 6 is kind of the key number for the they share. The more people you enroll, it gives you more wiggle room on that retention. So if you sign up 2 people and each of those people sign up 3, so they sign up 6 people total, you could have 3 of those they share people only reorder for 2 months instead of 3. Or if you sign up 3 people and they each sign up 2 people, so 3 consultants, you still have the 6 they share. And what that would give you is even more wiggle room. It would mean 4 of the people could just reorder for 2 months instead of 3 months. So obviously, I didn't want to overwhelm too much. I just went through 4 scenarios. You could run around with it till you're blue in the face, and you could do any number of scenarios. But the point is, it's most important to get people into the IsaBody Challenge, to try to get them to see the value of committing to themselves for a 4-month period, and also finding people who really want to do this with other people. And a little shout out to my wife, who's brand new to the business side here. She even just found a friend and had a really good conversation, who we know is having some stress at home, like many couples do, about finances, and just was able to share with her and say, how great would it be if you could get 1 bill paid for? So we're going to be setting up a 3-way call with her this week sometime. So if we keep it simple, it really is pretty easy to get people at least talking about it and thinking about it. So the more people you can get sharing, the easier it's going to be to obtain.
Perfect, Andy. That was great. And I love how he said IsaBody, because that is huge. People, if they're signing up and they're committed to it, you can count on 500 BV if they do that soon enough, so that it's within their 16 weeks. That's about right now, right? How many weeks is 16 from now? I would have to count it out.
Well, 16 from now would get them to December.
Yeah. So the sooner the better. And that's part of why we wanted to do this call tonight, so that And, there are a lot of people on this call right now on our team who are enrolling, 3 to 5 people a month. That's awesome. That's all going to make these numbers more manageable and retention a little bit less key. So the base share is really key, and then the retention. Awesome, Andy. Thank you. If anyone are there questions in the chat at all? I can't.
Yes, Emily, they're all new.
Okay. And then I am going to hand it over next, thank you, Andy, to Courtney. And Courtney is going to talk mindset and then very specifically the how. So we kind of talked about, why you want to do this, why you want Dash to Disney. It's only going to help your business. It's going to help with that duplication effect. The coolest thing about the promotions is that when you embrace them and you go after them, no matter what, like your passion on fire, and at the end of the day, whether you get there or not, your business has grown, which is just the most exciting thing. So we're going to have Courtney talk now about so Andy talked a little bit about, what specifically nitty gritty, and Courtney Mott is going to talk about how are you going to get there between mindset, dealing with objections, and also embracing the scripts and everything that Isagenix has provided to us.
Hold on.
So Miss Courtney, go right ahead.
All right. Well, hey guys, thank you for coming on. I'm super excited. So I want to talk about objections because when I was at Celebration, that was kind of like the big thing is we tend to hold ourselves back because we don't know how to handle the objections. And I think we do know how to handle the objections, but we don't maybe feel confident in everything else. So I'm going to talk about mindset first. Then I'm going to talk about dealing with the no's and then objections and dealing with scripts because it's a new thing, but an awesome thing. So with this mindset, I want to give you guys permission to live your life out loud so you realize that you truly are your sharpest tool in becoming successful in this business. You can go ahead and go to the next slide.
Did it go?
No.
No?
Oh, there we go. Okay. To deal with less objections, it is so important to build the right connection and make the friendship beforehand. And in order to really do that, you got to get people to know, like, and trust you. And in order to get that know, like, and trust formula down, there has to be consistency and authenticity in there too. So I do think that there's a little bit of a secret sauce. And I think that everybody in our community is doing a great job at doing that. This is just going to give new people a little bit of a structure to follow. So knowledge truly is power, but action is key and discipline is success. And that's going to be kind of the rhyme and the reason with how you push forward. So to get people to know and like you, it's really amazing that we have all these social media tools. So social media clearly can be a branding platform and a way to introduce yourself to an everyday audience, especially when you know people in your everyday life. And then if you're on Instagram or these other social media platforms, you use hashtags, you can find a ton of new people on there. So really, in a world this big, we can't ever say people is an issue because there's too many of them out there. I see social media as almost like an electric journal because you can let people peek into your life. And if you use Instagram stories, a lot of us are doing that. Even if you're new to it, just get out there and start doing stuff. People are going to follow you and people are going to start to pique an interest in you and people are going to want to see more of it. And as long as you stay consistent, it's going to build right into that trust. It's just going to continue to follow the equation. So the other big thing to get people to know you is connect one-on-one. Don't just think that your posts are going to get you where you want to go. You have to actually reach out and build connection, let alone add value. So if you see that someone's struggling and you can provide advice, reach out in a personal message, not just engage on their wall. If someone's celebrating something, you have to be able to celebrate with people before you can ever expect people to celebrate with you. And that type of stuff is going to build a big community around you. And when you need to rely on your community, they're going to be there, but you got to be able to show up for them first. And then just learn to make new connections. That's really what this business is relationships and connections. And then we provide solutions. So to get people to like you, it kind of is a compound effect of showing a little bit of who you are consistently over time in all parts of you. You can't just show the good. It has to be the good and the bad. So add value to your posts. I know a lot of different people are like, you have to post a certain amount of time per day, blah, 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 blah. You need to post in a way that makes sense for you. I post like maybe twice a week on a good week. And then I use my stories and my Snapchat for way more into kind of what my life is. If you want to post more, you post more, but you have to do it in a way where it aligns with you and it doesn't stress you out, doesn't overwhelm you, but it still lets you be consistent and it still lets you be you. You have to own the good and the bad. If you don't own the bad, people are not going to think that you're real. They're not going to be able to feel that you're authentic, and they're not going to even be able to really find a way to relate to you. The next part of this is vulnerability is the courage necessary to reveal your heart. You don't have to keep that hidden. That vulnerability is what makes you human, because a lot of people do view people like us. It's okay, we're leaders, we can say this, but a lot of people put us up higher, like we're superhuman because we can handle a lot, or they see the way that we handle things in a way that they want. So if you can human yourself by showing the things that you struggle with, that's going to be where they see themselves in your shoes. So the question I have is, are you posting to live your life out loud, or are you posting in a way that you feel like you need to post? Because that's going to be where people are going to smell fakeness, and no action can really tie down the stench of fake at all. So go to the next slide, please, my dear. So this quote, if you portray a perfect life, how can anybody possibly relate to you or trust you to help them? You will feel too hard to reach. And I don't mean this to be like too blunt or too scary, but if I'm like 100% a fitness model, and I'm not, thank goodness, but if I was like this chiseled fitness model, and someday I might be, who eats perfect all the time, who never has a bad day, who's super stressed, anybody I reach out to that has a long way to go might be like, hell no, that is going to be way too hard. I don't want that. Like, she's got no failures. Anything I admit to her is going to be too scary. That's going to be where it's too hard for people to be like, I can be them. So if you're always happy, if you're always eating perfect, if you're always on point, it makes it really hard for people to trust that you're going to be able to relate to them. So one of the things that I am not ashamed of is that I don't know really how to eat vegetables, and I like pop, but it's like two things that I'm working on because I want to change it. So when people are like, do I have to eat perfect all the time? And I'm like, no, I still have soda every now and then. They're like, oh, I drink soda too, and it's a struggle. You know, all of a sudden they're like, you're human. We both have the same issues, and I can relate to them about things, and they can know that if I can do this, they can do it. So don't be afraid to share what you're doing and why you're doing things, and don't just share the shakes, because it's not just shakes. And if you're only sharing shakes and you're hearing, well, I don't want to just eat shakes, I want to chew my food, I'm going to kind of question how much of everything that you're sharing, because people are watching you. And if that window only shows your awesome, good flavored shakes, but it doesn't show your Domino's, or it doesn't show your bag of chips you ate, or it doesn't show the awesome meal prep that you do, or even that, like, hey, I bet you Isagenix is paying for a lot of our kids' school supplies. You know, if we're not sharing that type of stuff too, people aren't really going to get everything that we're doing. So you have to share the good, the bad, and you have to know that people can fit into you with your struggles. They're actually going to find comfort in that, and that's where we want to be able to relate to them. So next slide. Thank you. Other way. There we go. Okay. Sorry. It was my bad. My phone slowed down. So when you're living that authentic proof, you're taking that consistent action. You're truly moving forward at a momentum that is forward. And that's all that matters. And I will always say that a snail trudging through peanut butter is still forward motion, because you're beating everybody that's standing still and not taking action. And it doesn't matter the speed of your lane, just stay in your lane and go at your own pace. And walking the talk, even on the hard days or the busy seasons, is where that consistency and that discipline is going to be, where you can count on that even when you're not motivated. And if you guys didn't get a chance to watch Barbie's video that Allison shared, go ahead and watch that, because I mean, that girl is incredible with her leadership, with what she's doing, with what she's dealing with, and she's still going forward no matter how hard it is. And that's when she can count on the business to be there. And that's where you just have to keep going forward. So let your stories be your success. The humanness is where people feel understood. They feel like they can do it because you did it. And that's where the trust is born. So that's how you get people to know, like, and trust you, with that consistency and that authenticity. And that's really where you get to thrive then. So on to the next screen, I want to talk about unwavering faith, because if you can get all of that in motion and you know exactly where you stand with Isagenix, objection should be no big deal at all. So we know that our products and our solution and everything that Isagenix can offer is incredible, but for some reason we kind of like don't own that. And then when objections come in, we're like, oh, but wait, is what they said true? And it's like, no, we know these things. Be okay to defend them in the way that makes sense for everybody that you're dealing with. Like, we were just with 14,000 people in the global celebration, and I can't even find one person that was sick. Like, if that doesn't tell you things, along with your own success stories and along with everybody on this call that has success stories, like, let that be where your confidence comes from in the meantime. So you have to like put your stand down. You have to know exactly what your vision is, your why is, and you have to be confident and know that nothing is going to rock that confidence unless you allow it. So confidence breeds success. That is true, but success breeds confidence. So you just need to keep stepping forward and not wait for perfection, because that's never going to happen. And you never learn if you're just waiting for that perfect moment. You learn from tripping and falling and getting back up and finding the right way for it to actually work. So Zach Sloan, the big win, the man of the year, his quote is just incredible, and a lot of people are adapting to it. So if you've not heard it, now is the time. If there's a 100% chance you are going to die, then why are you worrying about how others think that you should live? Like, for real, think about that for a second. A lot of the reasons that I'm so blunt or so bold is because I don't care what people think of me. It's my life. It's my journey. It's my story. If they haven't been where I've been, if they're not going where I'm going, I'm not going to worry about it. However, there's definitely people that I care about their opinion of, but I invite them into that circle of where I know they're going to help me level up. And that's why I care about their opinion. You know, it's not going to be someone that doesn't understand where I'm going or my process that's going to like hold me down. Yes, I will call Andy out, 95%. Don't let people hold you back. So this type of like confidence gets to be your shield against anything that comes up. And it's a business where if we hear some no's, it's okay, because we don't need everybody to join us. That's like literally a luxury. You get to choose who comes with us. Your hard part, or the part that you have to have faith in, is that you have to trust that the right people are going to appear in your life. They're going to focus, and you have to focus on that and kind of bless and release those that aren't trying to go where you're going. And if you can just stead forward focusing on that, you're going to build momentum so much faster than if you just hold on to the people that are saying no, because the ones that are saying no might come back later, but truly NO just means next opportunity. So change up your thinking, and you don't have to get mad at no at all. Another big win from Celebration was teaching a lot of people a little bit, because we don't need everybody to see the full vision of wanting to be a millionaire just yet. Like, that can be really overwhelming for someone that's just like, I want product for free. Focus on that little bit first and groom people the right way, so that you're not just blitzing through things, letting people fall through the cracks. Like, that again is the compound effect of building the right momentum forward. And that's going to be where, again, you have to stay consistent and just push forward. It is so easy to come home from celebrations and to have these new things and just get like crazy high and crazy excited. And then you sleep tonight, and tomorrow you're like, crash. That's fine. Like, deal with that little crash hangover for like an hour and then get right back to it. It's Monday. Like, crush it. We've still got the free enrollment. Don't be afraid to raise your hand up, though. Raise your hand up to the leaders, not to downlines, because you want to be able to continue to stay positive and stay an anchor for those people that you're bringing with you. So raise your hand up so that the people around you can lift you back up and believe spirits into you, even if you got to hold on to their faith for just a little bit. So now that we've got your shield and you've got your confidence and you've got everything else, I'm going to give you one tool, and it's on the next screen. It's a new acronym. Maybe some of you guys have heard of it, but wait. Why am I talking? I don't care if you need to take a Sharpie and put this on your hand and write this out, so every time that you are having a conversation with someone, you can realize that you need to be doing way less of the talking and so much more listening, especially if you truly are trying to understand how to help each person on an individual level. So learn to just let people do the talking, and you actually are kind of like an expert question asker, and that's what you need to focus on, is asking the right questions. So on the next screen, the quote there is, no is only a final answer if you accept it. Because again, no could mean not now, and you might need to dive into that. No could be you have to circle back in a week, and that's totally fine. Like, I've connected with people where it's been like 10 weeks in a row. I follow up with them every time they ask me to, and they still push it out. And then finally they enroll when they're ready. And like, that doesn't, I'm not taking offense to that at all. I'm meeting people where they need to be met, but I'm still knowing that they're cared about and not forgotten along the way. And that's a true, genuine friendship. It's not me doing that to get them to enroll, because this is what Isogenics is all about, is that community and caring for people in a way where a lot of us feel alone and just want to be accepted. And we have that solution in that community. So no is not bad. If you need to be told no, just go start asking for free coffee every single day. Like, go to Caribou and be like, hey, can I just have this drink for free? And they're going to be like, no. And you're just going to laugh because that's ridiculous. Whereas when you hear a no now, you're going to be conditioned to, and it's not going to be a big deal. So seriously, don't get upset about that. If you guys aren't hearing no often enough, there's got to be like two things. You're either enrolling everybody, which is incredible. Keep doing it. You don't even need to listen to this then. Or you're not asking enough people and you're playing small, and you need to be getting more bold and talking to more people. So when you're talking to people, I want you guys to get good at asking questions with relevant questions to peel back onions versus just answering someone with a question, because we're trained to just answer tests. We're just trained to answer questions. And that's where it gets hard to control the conversation. If you are asking more questions and you're diving into what they're saying, you're able to control the conversation so much more, and you're able to take it down a path that you need to take it down. So, I hope we've all seen Shrek. We've got kids that have seen Shrek, and I watched this before I had a child, but Shrek talks about how ogres are onions. They have layers, and people are kind of that same way. They have layers, and when they start to give objections, it's usually just a surface throw out, and you have to dive past those layers to get to the real objection. So if you're talking to someone and you're really not understanding what they're saying, it's totally okay to throw back what they're saying and repeat it so that they know that you're actually listening and that you're actually trying to understand what they're saying. So I can say, okay, Allison, so what you're saying is that you're afraid to make an investment because nothing you've tried before has worked, right? And if they're like, yes, that's exactly it. Okay, well, now you know exactly how you're going to talk to this person, because we're going to talk about it in a second. So another great way to make people feel like they're understood is the feel, felt, found. So like, you know, I feel exactly what you're saying. When I first started Isogenics, I was a little bit skeptical. And after I got started, I couldn't even deny the results that I was given. You know, I found success with it. And this is exactly why I'm sharing it with you. You just related to them, and they know that you now understood, and you're not just trying to push something because you heard them and you tied yourself back into them, and they can maybe see themselves in you. So that's kind of why we're talking about everything before we get to objections. So never feel like you have to spend time defending. Truly, you just have to do more understanding with what these people are going through, because you just never know. And my last quote about no's is, truly, you're going to go through life being told no in so many different ways by so many different people that it might sometimes seem it's life saying no itself, but it is not. You didn't know that you were actually going to be an expert in bouncing back from rejection. And now you guys are going to activate flubber. You're just going to be that little green flubber dude. And anytime you hear an objection, it's just going to bounce off and go away, because you don't have to worry about these. So turn no into that next opportunity, happily bless, release, and then circle back to them whenever it's time. So on the next slide, we're talking about why it's important to connect. And this is really where the lifeline of the business comes in. If you're not connecting and building relationships and building those friendships, you're never going to get that trust piece. And without that trust piece, you just make it so much harder to connect and for them to see the vision that you're seeing, as well as trust you to help them with their vision. So for any business to be successful, it is very important that you make connections with those that you'd like to do business. Now, you know, like when I go to Chipotle, there is one girl at Chipotle that I talk to every single time I'm there. And I can tell that that business is only good because she's there. And I am not afraid to tell her that every time, because I don't feel like people that work hard hear that enough. So if I ever want to just boldly walk up to her one day and talk to her about Isogenics, that is not going to feel bad at all, because I have layered her with compliment upon compliment. I actually gave her a wooden rose once just to appreciate her, because a wooden rose will never die. So I mean, like, if you're building that type of connection and you can trust that you're doing the right thing, when the time comes, it's absolutely the right time, and you never have to worry about you doing it for the wrong reason, because you're here to serve other people. So if you're looking at people's success, and if you're looking at like how everybody got here and how we're all on the phone call, I guarantee it can come down to someone on this phone call built a trusting relationship with you, and it was trust centered, and they care about your future and helping you get there. And if that's how you're going to live, you're going to attract the right people into your business. People do feel alone. They lack the community and they want connection, and it's truly going to start with you being an anchor in their life. So to get down to objections, oops, sorry, hold on, I'm not done. I got to go to the other slide. I'm just getting too excited here. So by the time you've established an objection coming your way, I want you guys to make sure you're following the new member checklist, because that is a gold mine to help guide you through how to talk to people every single time you talk to them with consistency, because that's what you need. Consistency is duplicable, and you can help people when you provide a system out there. So by the time you get an objection, you should already know. Hi, puppy. You should already know what the person's goals are. You should know why they want to improve. You should be asking why now, because if they're not ready to actually change, it's going to make them harder to have success with what they're going to do and stick to. So if you know why they're going to change, I got my dogs bumping in saying hi, so excuse me while I deal with that. Have them walk you through an average day of eating. If you don't know what they're eating and what they're spending their money on, it makes it so much harder for you to handle the cost objection when that comes up. So ask them like, hey, Allison, tell me about what you ate the last 2 days. I tried to go back the last 2 days because that's probably all they're going to really remember. And that's going to be where they're the most honest. Where if you're like, tell me what you normally eat, they're going to paint a picture of what they really think they might eat, but maybe not actually eat. So while you're going through that, you should be taking notes and you should be kind of adding that cost up so you know what are they spending per day with what they're eating. Tap into how much they go out to eat. Tap into how much they're impulse buying. How much do they go to the movies? Like if you know that type of stuff, you know where money is going and where it's wasted. Listen to their fears and mentor them through. Don't just like say, oh, that's awesome, or I understand. You actually have to relate to these people, because if any of us have had money struggles, which I guarantee all of us have, we know what it's like. So we know how to help these people because we found a way to help ourselves. Two things, one of these questions should be asked so that we can get into the opportunity, so that people can know that this is an option. If you do not ask these last two questions, at least one or the other, you're making a decision to choose for them and not show them the income opportunity. And I know it's not just me that doesn't want someone to make a decision for me. So please don't make a decision for someone else. Ask one of these questions and be bold. So when you're going through things, and let's say you're talking about a system and you're talking about what pack would be right, you can just boldly ask, would it help you if I showed you how to get your products for free? Leave it at that. If they're like, oh, hell yes, that's amazing, you're going to go right in. If they're like, no, I like paying full price for things, well, that's fine. You can pay full price for things. I'm not going to like hold your arm down and try to get you to do that. I'll meet you where you're at and we'll continue on. If they're like, yes, be like, all right, so who are two people that you know would absolutely love to do this with you? Because it is so much better when you have some accountability with you, and let's help you get started. Now that ties together really well. If you kind of were too chicken to ask the first question, you can go right into suggesting that they start with two people. So what I find is that if people do this with friends, they get way better results and they have so much more fun. Who are two people that you know would love to do this journey with you? That's going to get their mind churning, and that's going to lead you to know how much more you have to help them. They're either going to be like, oh my gosh, my mom and my sister, they need to do this right away. Wham, bam. You know exactly the next steps you're going to do. You're going to walk them through the whole entire thing, the phone calls, the coaching, the getting started, the opening of the boxes. Like, you're then teaching her how to do all of that. If they don't know anybody, but they still want their product paid for, you're going to help them. And it's all in your new 90-day planner that was just given to us. Like, all of this type of stuff is in there. I'm not rewriting any of that. So on the next slide, if they don't know anybody, that's fine. You can like literally just reassure, like, oh, I don't know anybody at all. Like, nobody in my family is going to want to do this. Don't worry. I can still help you get your products for free. I can totally help you identify two people to share with. Your social media is great. If they're on social media, we're going to help them type out those posts of what they're going to say, and we're going to help engage with those comments, and we're going to help start those conversations. If they're like, well, I don't have social media, okay, that's totally fine too, because there are still people out there. But you're going to let them know it's going to take anywhere from 15 to 20 contacts over the phone or via texting before you really find the two people to get started. So you're giving people a bunch of avenues to help them find their people, and it's already a tool provided from Isagenix. So the other part of handling I don't know anybody is, if I could show you how to find two people that you could share with, where it eliminated any thinking on your end, would you be interested in learning how to meet people and build relationships? Because again, you're now the teacher and you're providing a solution and you're willing to show them. How can they say no to that? Because now it's not about, I don't know anybody. Now you could start to pile through these and continue to get more objections, but either way, you're going to get to the honest route right off the bat. So for people that don't have time, for any of us that don't have time, that want time or have now gotten time, you know how important this is. Because if you didn't even have 30% of or 30 minutes in your own day to yourself, you're not even giving yourself 2% of your own day. And if there's 24 hours in a day and you don't get 30 minutes, like, my heart breaks for you, and we need to find a way to find some time for you. So you can ask bold questions. If time weren't a factor, what would you be doing with your life? Let them answer, let them dream. Most people don't allow people to dream anymore, and people are too afraid to dream. And if we're dreamers and if we want to help other people start to get their dream brain churning again, like that is what happened to me a year ago. And that's why I've been able to kind of get on fire, is because I dreamed again and I didn't before. So you can let people know that Isagenix can help people with their dreams. A lot of people have forgotten their passions because they've neglected them. And if you're enjoying yourself, your inspiration can strike. So we know that if they're going out to eat, if they're going to the gym, if they're running to Target, we know that they're already out and about. So you can ask them, okay, Gretchen, when you're out shopping, do you bump into moms out there that you talk to? When you run to the grocery store, are you striking up conversations with the cashier? Because like that is literally all the skills that they need to be able to build a business or have the time to do this. And it's going to just count in on their own times, in their pockets of times. If it comes down to the nutrition where they feel like they don't have time to deal with like a 30-day system, ask them what about the nutrition feels like too much, because it could be that there's a misunderstanding and they're thinking that it's like too timed or too rigid or too strict, and they're just right off the bat like, no, don't want to deal with it. So you got to know why someone might think they don't have the time for nutrition, because we need to be able to speak to the convenience a little bit better, and we have to know what their day looks like as to why they felt like it was too hard, and that's where you can dive into a little bit more there. So on the next slide, I don't do shakes and I like to chew my food. These are two objections that people hear. So I don't do shakes. I don't know, I'm kind of like, do you do good health? But I'm not going to just ask that. So I want to know, can you tell me a little bit more about that? And truly my story, I can tie into this. So this is where you can do the feel, felt, found. You know, when I first heard of Isogenics, I was like, I don't really want to do shakes anymore. I've been there, done that, didn't work. You know, me telling someone that was then able for them to dive back in to how they can help me kind of get over that barrier. And it was just a bad product experience. So I can go into, I actually felt that way when I first heard about the nutritional shake, but what I found was the inability to deny the impact it made on my health. Can I share my story? Then I'm going to go in and why it worked for me. And that might be where they can start to tie themselves into me and figure out if this is going to work. You know, if someone doesn't want to do shakes, how is their health? If we're talking, why are we talking? You know, if you could rate your health on a scale of 1 to 10, where's it going to be? But 5 is out. That's a chicken number. You need to tell me if you're more towards a 10 or more towards a 1, because I need to know how to help you. And if they say like, well, it's like a 4. Well, if I can talk to you about a way to raise it from a 4 to a 10, are you willing to learn about how shakes can be something that can help you? Let them answer. If they say no, you're like, okay, so if shakes are a solution you don't want to learn about, you still are okay with not feeling okay. So like, yep, I'm like, all right, bye Felicia, I don't need you either. And you're going to find someone that's way more interested. Okay. I like to chew food, you know, like to me, that is hilarious because I think we all chew food, and you could literally just be like, dang, Gina, me too. I like to chew food. We've got so much in common. Let me talk to you about this a little bit more. You know, like you don't have to be like, ugh, like, why do they think I don't chew food? But again, if you're making sure that like your social media portrays that you eat more than just shakes, that's going to be totally okay. You know, like you can show the proof that you're eating more than just shakes, and you don't have to get mad that they think that you're only eating just shakes. Ask them what they like to eat, because I bet you they think that they're just having to give up the foods that they don't want to give up. Like I proudly eat Domino's twice a month. Like there is no shame in my book about that. And it's a lot better. I was eating Domino's like 5 times a month prior to that. And then, you know, I've cut it back down, but I still enjoy it, and I'm not ever going to give it up, and I'm never going to tell you to give up pizza. So if you can meet people where they're at and let them know like, oh my gosh, you can still have your beer at night. Just know if you're not following it 100% to a T, your results are going to be altered. You might go at a different pace, but let's find a way to fit this into your life. So then you can just boldly ask, if I can show you how you can still have balance, chew your food at 2 shakes a day, would you be open to learning more? So when you ask questions with a solution in mind, you potentially peel back the onion and get to like the root of their issues here. So the next 2, I'm just going to go quickly through because of time here. Fitness freaks, I don't work out. You know, it's safe to say that not all of us started working out when we started Isogenics, but once you kind of get healthier, you then make healthier decisions. So truly, with or without Isogenics, you should be moving your body, you should be working out, but talk to them about that. So let's just talk. If we could focus on your nutrition for the next 30 days, would you feel more comfortable getting started? They might be like, nutrition and fitness both at the same time. Heck no. Okay, that's fine. Let's just talk about 30 days. Let's just talk about your nutritions. If it's that they like to work out, but they don't know how to work out, they don't know how to go to the gym, guess what? We have communities we can tie them into, and you can find them somebody in the group that lives near them or that wants to connect with them on social media that can build relationships and that can help them stay accountable to their goals. That's not just you, you know, because if we're the perfect people that are helping people and they want to live up to us, help them with this. Then not right now. If not now, when? I love asking that. Okay, if now is not the time, let me know when, because that's going to get their brain thinking, or that's going to be like, shit, that's not really what I wanted to say. You're just making me give you a real answer. Bring up their goals. So if, you know, Allison, you told me you wanted to lose weight and you told me you wanted to get in shape by New Year's Eve. If you don't do Isogenics now, what are you going to do to help you get there? Because I want to know, I want to help you get there. And they might not have an answer right off the bat. That might be where you can coach them and help them. And that might be where you can reassure them that this is going to be their solution and it's not too scary to get started. Because The other part about not right now could be that they just really don't want to make an investment into something that they think isn't going to work. And if you're reassuring them that you're going to coach them, that there's a money back guarantee, that they're not alone, that there's a community who also got started, and they just have to focus on like one thing at a time going forward, that might be where their brain can change. Otherwise, they might tell you what's really going on. They might have some family stuff going on, and they might be like, you know what, 30 days from now, that's when it's better. Then you follow up. Okay, so Allison, in about, the end of September, is it okay if I send you a message and just see how things are going? Yes, but if you don't say anything in between those 2 points in times and you just reach out in those 30 days and are like, hey, you ready to start Isagenix? You lost all trust and you lost any friendship, and you didn't do the genuine steps along the way to support her until she was ready. So make sure you're still going with those friendships and that you're still pushing ahead. The next one, I could never sell anything in cost. So you can just be honest about why the Cougars made the product and the system the way that it is, because truly you can say this word for word. Would you be surprised to know that Isagenix customers are simply just happy product users with amazing transformations? The Cougars designed Isagenix as a solution to free people from physical and financial pain in such a way that it could be accessible to everybody out there, which is why some people choose to have their food paid for, they choose to have one bill paid for, or they choose to pass on referrals. So if I could show you how to just worry about your health, just worry about feeling better, getting your goals, could you be ready to get started? Then they're not even worried about selling anything. And I'm betting the people that say I don't want to sell anything have some financial pain points that they're just not ready to talk to you about. And you don't need to worry about that right now. You just need to worry about letting that fear be pushed aside and meeting them where it's at. The cost part. Would it help if I showed you how to get your products for free? We have a comp plan. Like, that should be where you go to whenever someone says that price is an objection. We know that they're quality products, and we don't have to explain the science behind all of that because most people are not going to understand that. So if you can explain the simplicity of how they can share with two people and help get their products paid for, ask if they'd be willing to get started then, because that's going to be where they're willing to really let you know if it's cost or if it's other things beyond that. Never be afraid to talk about the fact that it's an investment in your health. If people aren't investing in their health now, they are going to pay for it later, and it's probably in such a more expensive way. And we want to help everybody we can now with where they're at. So you can mention that, up front, it might be more of an investment, but we're going to teach you how to make sure that it supplements into your grocery bill. We're going to help make sure that it's not an additional expense on top of that, because you're getting several dozen meals in advance. It's like you're shopping at Costco and you're buying in bulk and you're getting 30 days worth instead of just one day at a time. And truly know the comp plan, because if you can't confidently know the comp plan, that's where you're going to really struggle to share it. But you don't have to be a genius, call somebody. Like, if I need to really show someone the comp plan, I'm probably going to call Andy. I'm not even going to really try it, or I'm going to call Allison or Gretchen or Holly or like anybody on this call. I could call if I was struggling with the comp plan, but don't not share it, especially if someone's saying that cost is a barrier. You will help them find their people. You will help them get that cost paid for. And that is truly just not an objection to hold on to. 2 more slides. Other companies' comparisons. This one, is one that you really never want to criticize. You kind of want to know more about why did they get started with it? What are they using? What's working? What's not working? If they're willing to talk to you, there's got to be something that has piqued their interest enough, and you got to figure out what that is. After you kind of get to know why they've been using it or what's been working, you can share why you personally chose Isagenix, or you can do a 3-way with someone that was using the previous products and then now has switched to Isagenix, because that's going to be where they're going to relate if you can't. If someone's like super closed off, but you just really want them to look into it because you just know that they need it, respect them enough to just appreciate them. Like, you've got high standards. You obviously love high quality nutrition. Could I just send you some information where you could just check this out and give me your opinion? Because I respect your opinion. I respect that you like quality nutrition, and it would just be really cool to kind of hear your thoughts. Hear their thoughts, but take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying they're going to ever change your mind, but that way you're allowing them to kind of have their own opinion and their own agenda about what they're doing. And if they look into it and they realize that it's so much better than what they're doing, they're going to be able to trust you more and put their walls down more to just let you talk to them. And if not, who cares? Again, move on. You don't need them. The last one here is auto ship. If anyone ever has an issue with auto ship, you can just tie it back to the fact that it's a $29 enrollment. It's just like Costco, but actually half the price. And it actually gets them 25% off of the product. And the other thing I love is that Costco doesn't give referrals and Isagenix does, but you don't need to throw that out there to everyone that says that. And then you can explain to them that after we set up your account, you'll get an email letting you know how to cancel your auto ship, and you can follow the steps, and it's super easy. So again, that's kind of just reassuring what the auto ship is. You don't really have to defend it or like go into much detail other than that, because who doesn't want 25% off the product? Like, are you okay with saving money? They're probably going to be like, yes. And then it's no big deal after that because you just got them to agree. So the last thing that I'm going to just rush through real quick, because sorry about time, get clear on your vision and your mission. That's really going to be what helps you own the scripts that are out there. The clarity helps you connect with others who truly just want to feel valued and heard. Scripts are duplicable systems that provide ease. I can take them, I can run with them, I can pass them on to someone that's brand new without them having to reinvent the wheel. You just have to add your own self to them. So take parts of this today and add it to you, the parts that you think are going to work. Take these scripts from these books and really just get to know them so that it doesn't sound like a robot, because the more you practice, the better you're going to get. When you resist something like this, like scripts, you can just truly be resisting your own success. Like, get me on the phone if you resist scripts, because I have to live with a 47-page script every single day for my job, and I can guarantee you it doesn't sound like a script, and you would never know that. So talk to me. I will give you that whole script play by play, and you will honestly not know that unless I just told you that, and I did. So the final thoughts is that, like, even Lori Harder, if you guys know her through Isagenix or through her tribe called Bliss, like, we got to see her, some of us got to see her when she came into town, and she even said, like, building connections comes down to asking good questions, and she didn't know how, so she Googled it. Google's incredible. Like, she Googled what are good questions to ask. And that is where she started to compile how she was going to build the tribe that she wanted to build. And that's like literally what you're going to do. You're going to connect with people. You're going to be confident. You're going to help them pass those objections because you now have all of the tools. And the final part about this is that you can cut, oh, I can't see you guys. Okay. So if you shrink this PowerPoint down to 50%, you can cut this out and you can staple this, and you literally have a little booklet of objections and how to handle them. So you can take this with you until you memorize it. So if you needed a tool, this is a tool for you, and you can go back through this whole PowerPoint and just have at it what you need. But seriously, be you in all of this, and that's really going to be how you launch forward with success. But that's all I got. Sorry if I went over time. I did. I'm so sorry.
It's good, Courtney. Honestly, you guys, like, this is the how, and know that as you're learning the skills, it's going to take more work up front, and you're going to be like, okay, my brain is spinning. Like, I got to get this down, and just embrace the process. And just like, I mean, Lynn Hagedorn on stage will say, learn and then do, and then learn and then do, and learn a little more and then do it, and practice and fall flat on your face and then get up and do a little more. So everything within Isagenix is supposed to be shown as a simple thing that your team can do too. And, you know, you're always subconsciously showing others, oh, if she can do it, I can do it. And so Courtney was just really trying to show you guys, like, you know, the objections, truly master, memorize exactly how you can handle all of those. And then nothing's going to scare you. You're going to walk more confidently. Your posture is going to be great. Every time you talk to, I mean, I'm like, you know, someone looks at me and they're like, okay, I have a couple questions. I'm like, what? Throw it at me. Like, I'm ready, whatever. What do you have? It's probably nothing I haven't heard at this point, you know? And you want to get to that point where, I mean, don't trust me. I still have my chicken list. I still have my moments of, you know, 20 seconds of insane courage, but you get to that point with, you know, if they say this, then I can bring this in. If they say this, then I can bring this in. And knowing, and then if you follow a script, you can teach your team that too. So yes, we will post this. Go back, sit with it, read it in bed, lay down, sleep with it. No, you know, spend time on your lunch break, spend time wherever, practice, put it in note cards, and just really get comfortable with it. Same thing with the ISA Life Success Plan, and that's where she got all of this stuff from. So, you know, there are scripts for everything, and then you can also make it just sound like you, and know that the learning part, your head's going to feel like it's spinning a little, but that's totally okay, and you will get to the point where it's second nature. Yeah, Gretchen said sometimes she calls people and asks them to practice on them. That's good. And the numbers, hopefully, I'm just going back through the notes. Hopefully you guys see how, okay, yeah, yep, points. If there are any questions, just unmute yourself and ask. I'm just going back through. But yes, everything for Dash to Disney is just get into action, do it. You're going to be so happy you did. 10,000 points. You share, they share, repeat again and again and again. And retention with that. Any other comments, questions, anything at all? I know a lot of you are running product challenges in your groups. Use those as a way to, have conversations with new people. And we'll post the recording. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Andy. So good to see all of you. Bye.
Bye.